Canara Robeco Asset Management Company Limited. We welcome you to the press conference. We have with us the management team of Canara Robeco Asset Management Company. We have Mr. Rajnish Narula, he is the MD and CEO of Canara Robeco. We have Mr. Ashwin Purohit, he is the CFO of the company. We have Mr. Akhil Turakia, he is the head of corporate development and MIS. We represented the BRLMs. We have Ms. Prachi Malka from JM Financial Limited. May I request start off with the presentation and Prachi to give the summary information.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the management team and the other teams of BRLMs, it is my privilege to welcome you all here for the launch of the IPO of Canara Robeco Asset Management Company. We are delighted to bring this remarkable story of Canara Robeco Asset Management Company to the public market investors. Let me run you through some of the key highlights of the company. So, Canara Robeco AMC is India's second oldest asset management company with more than 3 decades of operational track record. As on June 30th, 2025, the company has a quarterly average AUM of 1,11,000 crore rupees with 91% equity-oriented AUM, and overall AUM has grown at a CAGR of 28.6%. As on June 30th, it had 52,343 distribution partners across India, including 45 banks, 548 national distributors, and 51,750 mutual fund distributors. It has a wide retail customer base, and individual customer folios accounted for 99% of the total folios. I would now like to touch upon the deal specifics for this IPO. The price band is rupees 253 to 266 per equity share. The issue size is rupees 1261 to rupees 1326 crores. The anchor is scheduled on Wednesday, 8th October, and the issue opens to the public on Thursday, 9th October, and closes on Monday, 13th October. We look forward to your support to make this IPO a resounding success. Thank you.
Thank you, Prachi, and good afternoon to all of you. Thank you very much for coming here. We feel honored that you have made time to come here this afternoon. What we have today is a presentation on the company. As you're aware that we are approaching the market with an IPO. It's completely an OFS, and 2 shareholders are diluting their stake of combined 25%. 13% will be Canara Bank and 12% will be Orix Corporation. It's an OFS, so the money will go to the shareholders. We are a capital light business, so it's not something that we need. Let me just take you through the presentation itself. While we are the second oldest mutual fund in the country, the JV is actually 18 years old. We completed 18 years in September last month. So in a way, we are an adult, so to speak, and I think our shareholders believe we are ready to fly as well. So without much ado, let me just get into the presentation itself. So, like I said earlier, this is a joint venture between Canara Bank and Orix. Canara Bank has 51% in the JV as of now, and Orix has 49%. We manage 1.11 trillion of total assets under management across 26 schemes. We have over 5 million investor folios. Distribution partners are over 52,000. We have 325 employees in the company, and we are present in over 50 locations. But 91% of our equity is, our AUM is in equity, which is one of the highest in the industry as well. The management team, Ashwin and Akhil are here. Hilda is the Chief Operating Officer. She's on deputation from Robeco, from Orix. Shri heads our equity team. Avnish heads our fixed income team. They've both been around for over 10 years. Gaurav heads our sales function. We have an eminent board of directors. The chairman of our board is the MD and CEO of Canara Bank, Mr. Raju, and there are representatives from the bank as well as Orix on the board. We have a very strong team of independent directors that support the board as well. They all have experience in the financial services space for over 35 years. We are an award-winning fund house. We won awards in all categories that normally awards are given, which are basically the fund house awards, the fund category awards, as well as the fund manager awards. We are present in all. This is just a small representation of the awards that we won. I'm going to request Atit to give you some highlights of the industry and how we are doing.
Let's take you through some of the highlights of the industry, mutual fund industry. I'm sure you're well aware of the industry, but I'll just try and shed more light on it. So the mutual fund industry, in order for it to grow, you actually need a very strong economy. And India is fortunate to be one of the fastest growing large economies in the world. It is anticipated that India will grow at a CAGR of 6 to 7% over the next 5 years. That will effectively make us the third largest economy, hopefully by the end of FY 2030. Apart from that, India also enjoys a very high savings rate. Effectively, for the mutual fund industry, the savings rate is an important thing because that's the money that effectively will flow into the mutual fund. We have been seeing an increasing trend of higher financial savings coming into the mutual fund industry, which is shown as the chart on the right hand side bottom. This has resulted in the AUM of the industry growing quite significantly. In fact, in the last 5 years, the AUM of the industry has grown by about 2.5 times, from 27 trillion to 67 trillion. It is anticipated that the growth in the mutual fund industry will continue, and in the next 5 years, it will be in the region of 147 to 155 trillion, which is again a growth of more than 2x from its current level. Where is this growth going to come from? If you see historically in the last 5 years, the growth has largely come on the equity side, where the share of equity in the total AUM has grown from 42% to 62%. This is good for us because we, like Rajneesh mentioned, are predominantly equity fund house with 91% of our AUM coming from equity-oriented schemes. In terms of the flows, as you're well aware, SIP has been the backbone of the flows for the industry. The last number that we have for as of June, almost 27,000 crores, to be precise, 26,900 odd crores has been coming on a monthly basis into the industry as SIP. Majority of the SIPs will be in the equity segment and typically are in the very retail in nature. As a result of which, we are seeing the increase in the retail participation to the total AUM, which has increased from 52% to 61% in a span of 5 years. I'll give you some highlights about Canara Robeco as a company now. So we are privileged to have two very esteemed parents in Canara Bank and Orix Corporation. Canara Bank offers its huge branch network as a touch point for Canara Robeco as a company. Their branch network spreads more than 9,800 branches all across the country. Orix Corporation, on the other hand, has provided Canara Robeco with its expertise in investment management philosophy, product development, and also in the risk management framework section. In terms of the growth of the company, we've been growing extremely fast. In the last 5 to 10 years, we've been one of the fastest growing AMCs in the country. In the last 2.5 years alone, our AUM has grown by 1.8x, from around 62,000 crores to 1.1 lakh crores. In terms of the split of AUM, like you mentioned, 91% of our AUM comes from equity. In absolute terms also, that has almost doubled. That's more than doubled in fact. So from 55,000 crores to more than 1 lakh crores in the span of just 2.5 years. Why is it important? Is because we are one of the few companies which has a very high equity mix. In fact, when you compare us to the top 10 AMCs, we are the highest in terms of the equity mix. And when you compare us to the top 20 AMCs, we are third highest in that ratio. For us also, SIPs has been a very strong medium of growth. Our share of AUM coming from SIPs has grown significantly. It was only about 24% in March of 23. Now that has become 33%. Also, the base of SIP has also increased quite significantly by 1.6 times in the span of 2.5 years, from 1.1 million folios to 1.8 million folios. We are privileged to have 7 schemes which has a lineage of more than 10 years. all our 7 schemes during this duration have beaten the benchmark, therefore creating an alpha for our investor base. We have more than 5 lakh folios, and given that we are a retail fund house, most of our AUM comes from the retail plus HNI segment. With 87% of our AUM coming from them, we are number 1 when you compare it to the top 10 AMCs, and number 4 in this ratio when you compare it to the top 20 AMCs.
Looking to the current scenario globally and Indian equity market, तो इतने सारे म्यूचुअल फंड फ्लो आ रहा है, तो वेदर अवर इंडियन कॉर्पोरेट्स, इंडियन कंपनीज, उनकी डाइजेस्टिंग कैपेसिटी है, क्योंकि मनी इज जस्ट गेटिंग पंपिंग लाइक एनीथिंग, लेकिन ऑप्शन किधर है एंड हाउ इट विल इम्पैक्ट ऑफ रिटर्न्स ऑफ द इन्वेस्टर, क्योंकि ओवर अ ग्रेजुअल पीरियड ऑफ टाइम शायद एक मैच्योरिटी आ सकती है कि नहीं आ सकती है, आपको क्या लग रहा है?
नहीं, आपका सवाल तो बहुत बढ़िया है, थैंक यू वेरी मच, बट लेट मी जस्ट आंसर इट a little differently for you. You're aware that India's GDP is growing at the rate of 6.7%, right? So it's one of the fastest growing economies, and as a result the stock market as well is growing at a very healthy pace. The ability for the stock market to absorb more capital coming in is therefore undeniable. It will continue to grow. You see the larger economies and you look at the market capitalizations of those stock markets, they're much larger than ours. So there is capacity. What's important from an investor point of view is they put money in those companies that they believe create wealth for themselves. So you have to be very careful where you invest your money. Ours is an capital-light business. I don't need capital more than 50 crores, that's what the regulatory requirement is. But we have a very strong balance sheet. We have a net worth of over 650 crores. Because our capital generally is more intellectual capital in our business. Because it's a fund performance that actually gets you where you are. And the larger the AUM, the better the operating leverage you have, and the better the profitability.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So, you said that your equity expense is in top 3, right? But as AUM, you are not on the top 10, and kind of performance base, you never earn top 3 for the mutual fund industry. What is the reason for that?
So I think the reason is quite simple. It's the markets or the asset classes we choose to compete in. We are an equity-focused fund house, which means you need to look at our AUM in the equity segment of the market first to start with, in which the market share is 2.5% against an overall share that we have of 1.5% of the total AUM. That's one. On fund performance, in fact, our fund performance has been very, very good. If you look at all our funds, which are completed 10 years and above, all of them have beaten their benchmarks over time. In the short term, every fund house will go through, and schemes will go through overperformance or underperformance. That's part of the market cycle. But you need to look at track records, and we look at track records in periods of 5-10 years.
But some of the big name already in the pipeline, like Jio and big Bajaj Finance, they already entered into mutual fund industry. Do you think that competition is for you, like your player, is very tough for you to in near future and mid future?
In fact, it's good when good names come into the industry. They only basically broaden the market the way we look at it. But you must remember, in our industry, it's performance that counts. So yes, anyone can come in at the end of the day, as long as SEBI permits them with a license. But you will get AUM based on your track record. There is no other way that you will get AUM in the industry. So you've seen in the past, global players.
So performance is also is the benchmark for this mutual fund industry.
Absolutely.
What return you are gaining?
Yes, it is. So, like I was saying, if you look at some of the global players, they've left the Indian market. They've been very big, but they have left because they couldn't believe they could compete.
So what are your expectations from Gujarat, and who are mainly your clients?
We need all of you. And that's why we are here. I believe that the culture of investing in equity is predominant in Gujarat. It's the state that basically really supports the stock market industry from the retail perspective, among a few other states as well. But to me, this is the first port of call that anyone that wants to list and have retail penetration will come to. So thanks to all of you, we are here.
Greetings, everyone. Namaskar.